The emergency is real. Human suffering in Ukraine is one thing, but not enough is being done for those with no voice, the animals. PETA Germany is doing what it can at the Ukrainian border with Poland, and PETA is taking it even further into Ukraine. That's next on the PETA Podcast. Welcome to the PETA Podcast. I'm Emil Guillermo, your host for this inside look at animal rights, brought to you by PETA, the largest animal rights organization in the world. On today's episode, there have been an estimated 500,000 Ukrainians fleeing the war for points west, creating a humanitarian problem the likes of which have not been seen since World War II. And what about the animals? I'll have a way you can contribute to the effort at the end of the podcast. Meanwhile, PETA Germany organized a convoy to bring 40,000 pounds of dog food to the Ukrainian border with Poland. I placed the call to the border and talked with PETA Germany's Judith Peine. Here's our conversation about helping the animals impacted by the war on the PETA Podcast. Thank you very much for being with us here on the PETA Podcast. First of all, describe, you're based in Germany, but where are you now?
Now we are at the border. We are in Poland, at the border of Poland and Ukraine. We are in Medica, is the name of the town, and there are always people coming across the border all the time. We are here since 2 days. And the situation it's a disaster because there's all the time at day, at night, there are families come, there are women with small children, with babies, old men, ill men. Some of them have animal companions, like cats and dogs or guinea pigs we already saw.
It's a constant flow of people 24 hours a day. I mean, can you estimate how many people you have talked to, or how many people PETA has helped?
Yes, at the first day we picked up 6 people, 4 students from India with a cat and a mother with a son and a cat. And the students were traveling 3 days, and they were waiting at the border for 30 hours. They walked 60 kilometers. So the girl had frozen feet. She was not able to walk anymore. And she has her cat under her jacket all the time. And yes, we saw them, picked them up, gave them food, water, because they hadn't anything. At the border on the Ukrainian side, there is no help for all these people. So they are waiting in their cars. Yes, 30 hours. They are waiting while going by food. They are standing in the cold. It was snowing at night. They are standing there. They have no water, no food. Some have no warm clothes. Some even don't know where to go to. They just want to flee from this war. And yes, together with their family, with their animals. And we picked them up, brought them to the doctor, brought the animals to the veterinary clinic. So that was the first evening.
Yeah, Judith, yes. What's hard to imagine is that these people, you're at where Poland and Ukraine meet. You traveled from PETA Germany to the border, but these people are walking.
So some came by bus, by train, or by car, and then because they have to wait so long, because there are so many people who want to flee from Ukraine, so they have to wait so long at the border that they have no fuel for their cars. So they must leave the cars and walk to the border.
So when they have no gas, as you said, no petrol,
yes,
they just leave their cars and start walking.
Yes. And then there are so many people standing there in front of the border. Some, go by feet. So there are 2 is it rows? So
rows?
One for the people, one for the people going by feet, and one for the cars. and it's
Eh,
terrible.
Yeah.
There's so many people.
And so tell me, how did you choose these people? They just came to you, or they're so lucky considering how many people there are?
Yes, we saw them. We saw the cats under the jacket, and we saw this woman wasn't able to walk, so we went to them immediately and picked them up and asked, "Hey, do you know where to go to?" And they said, "No, we don't know nothing, but we are not able to walk. Please help us, and please help our cat." Yes, and the same with the mother with her son.
Yeah.
They didn't know where to go to, and yes, we saw her. The woman had this guinea pigs and the cat, and she said it was terrible because on the Ukrainian side there were so many people, and it was such a chaos, and she had to she brought them in a small bag, or like from made of paper, so little bags, and she must have a look that the people didn't push the animals she had on her arm. And so she came to us, and we saw her need, so we went there and helped her.
How many people like this are there that you can help, or that you've been able to help so far?
Yeah, the most problem we see is we have to help the people inside Ukraine, because that ones who managed to get out, there are some buses standing at the border on the Polish side who picked up these people, and many knows how to go to. They have families, or they are something for the refugees, like refugee camps. But inside Ukraine, it's much more worse, because the animal shelters, our friends we already spoke to, they haven't enough food now. So our main project now is, and that we organized today or the day, is to go inside Ukraine, bring food to the shelters, because they have for 1 or 2 days, and then they have nothing. They cannot buy anything. Everything is gone. So we organized a transport of food for animals and for the people too. And tomorrow, the plan is tomorrow we will bring it inside Ukraine to Lviv. There's a shelter from our friends. Yes, we bring there the food and pick up their animals to bring the animals out of the war. We'll make a big convoy with other friends on the Polish side. And the plan is bring food inside, bring animals outside. And so the shelter in Lviv can pick up animals from the street, because now there are many abandoned animals without food. So if the shelter is empty because we got the animals, they can pick up the animals from the street or from other shelters near cities we cannot reach actually because of war, like Kiev. In Kiev, there's the people, the army is fighting in Kiev or in eastern Ukraine. We cannot go there, but there, it's a horrible situation for the animals and people, of course. So we hope we can make a rescue bridge to Lviv, and the Lviv people bring food to Kiev, to the eastern Ukraine, and the people from eastern Ukraine bring the animals to Lviv. So we are still in contact with Lviv.
Judith, how close to Lviv are you?
About 70 kilometers. It's not so far.
Yeah, and
actually the way to Lviv should be safe, but the situation can change every time.
And so,
yes.
Tell me some of the animal stories you're finding. Tell me, you found some cats, you found some guinea pigs. Tell me some other animal companion stories that you found.
Actually, on the Polish side, not so many. We see people with little dogs, but they were in relative good conditions. I think the worst problem is the strays inside Ukraine, and all the abandoned animals. that were left behind. Yeah, so...
Did you find many abandoned dogs? Or tell me about the abandoned dogs and cats that you saw.
Yes, I can tell you more about that tomorrow, because tomorrow we go inside Ukraine.
Oh.
And tomorrow I can tell you more about the situation inside Ukraine, because now we are actually at the border.
How far into Ukraine are you going to go? Just to leave?
Tomorrow, yes.
Yeah.
Because that's hopefully safe.
Right.
Yeah. And the people from Lviv bring animals from all over Ukraine to Lviv.
What are people telling you personally? Are they scared? How have they how are they after journeying so far and so long to the Polish border with Ukraine?
Yes, of course. They are scared. They are crying. They have pain. They are hungry and don't know what's happening. They cannot believe that this is true. And for myself, I cannot believe that this is happening now, in this moment, so near to us, that there are so many people, animals suffering in that way. So for what? For what reason? It's really unbelievable. And I think the people themselves, they cannot believe it, and they are like shocked.
When you go to the border and you find these people, there are so many more. You can't help them all. What is the need there? What do people need if you can't help them all yourself with other volunteers from PETA?
Mm-hmm.
What is the real need that you're seeing right there at the border with these thousands of people coming in at all hours?
Yes, there are several NGOs that help the people. So yes, they need to have transport to a safe place like refugee camps, from where they can go to families, friends. And at the border, there are many stuff they can take for free, of course, water, food, clothes. Yeah. But what really is needed, yes, animal food wasn't there. So we left some animal food at the border for the people who come with the animal companions.
Yeah, I heard that PETA is providing something like 40,000 pounds of dog food. That's a lot of dog food.
Yes, and that we will bring inside Ukraine tomorrow.
And you're going to live, and if it's safe, tell me how you feel. Are you scared?
Yes, of course, I'm a bit scared, because the situation can change every time. But when I think about the people and animals that are in this shelter, waiting for us and hoping that we will come as quickly as possible, because the food is nearly empty, then there is no question someone has to go there. And if not we, who should do it? Because some were trying, and some didn't come across the border to the Ukraine side. Some even nearly didn't come back because of the long row on the Ukrainian side. So today we organized everything, and yes, we have to manage it tomorrow, because otherwise, yes, the animals will die because the food is empty.
And how about the other dogs and animals that have been abandoned? What is being done for them, or what is being planned, or is there anything right now?
For the abandoned dogs, we are in contact with all our friends from the animal shelters in different towns all over Ukraine, and they do what they can. They pick up as many animals as they can, and of course they need food too. So yes, we hope from Lviv they can bring the food to all inside Ukraine to feed all those abandoned dogs. and that once they pick up and bring to Liev, we will bring out.
Yeah. How many people are helping in the PETA effort, Judith?
Actually, here at the border.
Yeah, and then how many are going to go in with you into Ukraine tomorrow?
Yes, from PETA, we are actually 3 people here, but some friends are coming today and tomorrow. So we can make, and together with the animal friends from Polish side, we make a big convoy today. Yeah. So maybe we are the big transporter with all the food and maybe 5 private cars, and then bring the food to Liev, get the dogs and cats inside the cars and drive back. And as an NGO convoy, we hope we can cross the border immediately, so we don't have to wait so long, like all the refugees. Sorry, and I think that will be a very bad moment for me and my emotions when we will drive, to the border and the other people have to wait for 30 hours. Yeah. And we will see the babies crying, the animals on the frozen ground. And of course, you want to pick up them all and bring them to safe places, but that's not possible. So the government has to manage something.
Tell me about the people again when they are out there. They're just moving constantly. There's no time to rest. There's no place to rest. There's no place to use the bathroom. There's no place to stay warm. It just sounds miserable.
Yes, the refugees we picked up at the border told us that there's nothing, no help. They have to stand in the road and have to wait with nothing. They could sit on the frozen ground. They hadn't eaten for 2 days. No one was there to help. Some people were conscienceless, lying on the ground. You cannot imagine that. But they told us, and they were so shocked. They were crying. It's horrible.
No Russian soldiers there, but still the effect of war is very real. How much longer do you think you'll be able to do this, keep up this effort there, Judith?
Actually, we organized all this convoy, and we will do that this week and next week, and some other animal friends will come to join us. So, I hope the war will stop soon so we can go home. But I think we need 2 more weeks to make safe that this rescue bridge will continue.
2 more weeks. Wow. There's a lot of need there. What keeps you strong, Judith? What helps you stay with it?
Yes, I'm an animal activist for many years now. I'm working for PETA, even as investigator for 10 years now. And I cannot do nothing. When animals are suffering, I have to help them. I cannot sit at home, speak about some other stuff. I have to go and help. And so that gives me the power.
Well, Judith, I just hope that people are inspired by your example, and that your friends come and help you, and that you get all the animal companions that have been abandoned, or as many as you can, and get them back safely across the border. And I hope also that you are safe.
Yes, thank you. So another big problem are the farm animals. I think many of them are starved to death already because they are in the stables And if the people flee and left them behind, they have nothing. So many people asked about the abandoned dogs and cats, but little think about all that farm animals. And that's horrific for me that I cannot help them. That it must be millions, thousands, millions starving to death.
Wow.
But I don't know how to help them.
So you're talking about cows and horses and chickens. And
pigs, yes. Yeah, they're all in the stables, left behind, and yeah, it's really horrific. And I have a special bond to the Ukraine because 10 years ago, or 11 years ago, I was there before the soccer EM started, and there was a big killing of the strays because they want to clean the streets for the people who were coming for the soccer event. And there the situation was so bad. We found so many killed dogs inside Kiev, and we were in the east, and we were all in all the towns that are under attack now, like Donetsk, Kharkiv, Lugansk, and there were so many animals. And there the situation was so bad. So now it must be a horror for everyone.
Yeah. So you know how bad it could be back then, but now during war, it's maybe unimaginable, right?
Yes, when I was there, we were in a big shelter in Kiev. They had 1,000 dogs and hundreds of cats. And this shelter actually was attacked. And I don't know how many animals survived. So we have to prove that. But yes, our contact persons sometimes they don't answer our questions, and then we are afraid that there happened something bad.
Do you mean right here, right now, that shelter was attacked?
Yes, the last days when there was the attack at Kiev, and the shelter is in Kiev, we heard that it was under attack too. Yes.
Judith, all I can say is please stay safe, and please communicate with me if, as you save more animals and are able to take some, when you go into Ukraine and are able to save, dogs and cats and all those that can fit in the convoy, and as you bring them back, communicate with me in the way that we have, and we'll have another follow-up phone call. But
yes,
I'm so happy that we connected, and you there on the Ukrainian border with Poland, and me here in California. We show that the world is full of compassion and can do these little things that can make a difference. I really appreciate you being there.
Yes, thank you. Sure. Yes, tomorrow there in Liev are waiting 60 animals. So I hope we can pick them up all tomorrow.
Wow.
And we have shelters in Poland.
Yeah.
60, yes. 60. And from day to day they are more because people pick up them from the street. And we have some good shelters and a veterinary clinic in Poland near the border where we can bring them.
So,
yes, and from there we can find new homes for them inside Poland or Germany, of course. Yeah.
All right. Well, Judith, thank you for the update. Good luck to you when you go into Ukraine, and please stay in touch and stay safe.
Yes, thank you very much. Of course, I will contact you.
Judith Peine of PETA Germany on the PETA effort to help the animals and the people of Ukraine. You can give to PETA's Global Compassion Fund. To help, go to PETA.org. And that's our show for today. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to send a link of this show to your friends. Tell them you like the PETA podcast. Contact us at PETA.org. You can find me on Twitter at Emil Amok. That's EMILAMOK. Or see my vlog at AMOK.com. Or see my work at ALDEF, the Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund. That's at ALDEF, AALDEF.org/blog. Once again, thank you for listening. Check out all our episodes on your favorite podcast app or on Apple Podcasts, where you can subscribe to, as well as rate and review the show. It helps get the word out about the issues you care about. Our music is provided by CarbonWorks. Check them out on YouTube. And join us again next time for more insight into animal rights and the fight for a cruelty-free world on the PETA Podcast. I'm Emil Guillermo.